Iran may be only getting started in this war, even as Israel and the United States appear to be standing at a dangerous and uncertain endgame moment. After 28 days of war, reports suggest that only about one-third of Iran's missile arsenal has been confirmed destroyed, in what is emerging as a major revelation. The continued silence of systems like the Qassem-Basr and Fateh-2 is now raising a big question about why some of the IRGC's most feared weapons have still not been used. The absence of the Rod 500 is also drawing attention, with growing speculation that Iran may be saving some of its most lethal strike options for Israel's weakest hour. The United States says the war could end within weeks, but that claim is now colliding with reports that Israel's Interceptor stockpile is already approaching a critical limit.
We are on or ahead of schedule in that operation and expect to conclude it at the appropriate time here in a matter of weeks, not months, and the progress is going very well.
The U.S. is now reportedly certain that it has destroyed only about one-third of Iran's total missile stockpile, raising questions about how much firepower Tehran still has in reserve. Another one-third of Iran's missile stockpile is believed to have been damaged, destroyed, or buried, but not necessarily rendered permanently unusable in the long term. Reuters made this revelation on March 27, citing 5 sources who were said to be familiar with sensitive U.S. intelligence assessments. Those sources also revealed that the same U.S. intelligence assessment extends to Iran's drone capability, according to the Reuters report. Despite these losses, Iran is still believed to possess a large missile inventory and may even be able to recover some of the damaged or buried systems over time. Analysts also say that several of Iran's more advanced missile systems have still not appeared in active operations, adding to uncertainty about what may yet be held back. Interestingly, despite its reported capabilities, the Qassem-Basr missile has still not been deployed in combat, leaving observers wondering whether it remains in reserve. Among the most prominent and used parts of Iran's arsenal are the Fateh-2, the Rod 500, and the Etemad missile systems, all of which continue to draw attention. Notably, Iran claims that the Fateh-2 uses a hypersonic glide vehicle, a feature designed to help the missile evade defenses and complicate interception. The U.S. intelligence understanding of Iran's missile stockpile now appears to differ sharply from Donald Trump's much more confident public claims. On March 26, Trump publicly said that Iran had very few rockets left, according to a Reuters report that highlighted the gap in messaging. This new revelation about Iran's missile stockpile comes at a time when separate reports are also warning of a worsening interceptor shortage for the U.S. and Israel. The U.S. and Israel now appear to be facing a major logistical crisis as the ongoing war continues to strain air defenses, supply chains, and weapons replenishment. Current projections suggest that U.S. and Israeli interceptor inventories could begin running out within days or weeks if the present rate of attacks continues. This claim was attributed to an analysis by the Royal United Services Institute, or RUSI, which was then reported on by Press TV. The analysis said that industrial endurance, or the ability to keep producing and replacing munitions, is now shaping strategic decision-making in the war. RUSI warned that Israel's stockpile of Arrow interceptors may be fully exhausted by the end of March if current pressures persist. The same analysis projected that the United States THAAD interceptors could also be depleted within a month under continued combat conditions. The think tank blamed Iran's sustained retaliatory strikes for driving a very high interceptor burn rate and rapidly eroding available defensive stocks. The report also noted that Iran's early decision to target radars has compounded the strain by disrupting detection networks and making defenses work harder. Amid these reports of interceptor shortages, the U.S. has still said it could take weeks before the war is over, suggesting the current strain may continue for some time.
All right. We had really good meetings. Obviously, it was an opportunity to talk to our allies of the G7 and outline the perspective of what we have going on with Iran. We talked about a lot of things, but obviously the Iran operation. And we're very clear, as we've been from the very beginning. The objectives of this mission have been clear from the very first night the President announced it. We're going to destroy Iran's Navy. We've destroyed their Air Force. We're going to basically destroy their ability to make missiles and drones in their factories. And we're going to substantially, dramatically reduce the number of missile launchers so that they cannot hide behind these things to build a nuclear weapon threat in the world. As the Department of War has consistently outlined, we are on or ahead of schedule in that operation and expect to conclude it at the appropriate time here a matter of weeks, not months, and the progress is going very well. Obviously, we have some work to do. We have to finish the job, and we are finishing that job. I did describe to our allies, however, that immediately after this thing ends, we're done with our objectives, one of the immediate challenges we're going to face is in Iran that may decide that they want to set up a tolling system in the Straits of Hormuz. Not only is this illegal, it's unacceptable, it's dangerous to the world, and it's important that the world have a plan to confront it. The United States is prepared to be a part of that plan. We don't have to lead that plan, but we're happy to be a part of it. But these countries have a lot at stake, not just the G7 countries, but countries in Asia and all over the world have a lot at stake and should contribute greatly to that effort to ensure that either the Straits of Hormuz or frankly any international waterways should ever be something that's controlled or tolled by a nation state or by a terroristic government like the one that exists in Iran today in that radical clerical regime. So there seems to be a lot of buy-in to that concept. There's a lot of work happening right now. The UK has played a prominent role in bringing that together, but other countries as well. And there seems to be a lot of acceptance of all that. And our allies and partners here, at least to me, seem to be appreciative of updates on our operation and an understanding of what lies ahead over the next few weeks. Okay?
Mr. Secretary, those couple of weeks, how seriously is the United States considering deploying ground troops? And in those couple of weeks, what exactly will you do?
I won't discuss military tactics. I don't think anyone in our system is going to talk to you about what we have planned or what we intend to do, and there's obvious reasons for it. But to the extent it has to do with like military tactics and plans, I would refer you to the Department of War, and the Department of War is probably going to tell you they can't tell you anything. So other than to say that we have objectives, I told you what those objectives are, and we are very confident that we are on the verge of achieving them very, very soon. On the contrary, these meetings are oftentimes about thanking America for the role we played in trying to bring peace in Sudan. The recognition that the president played a key role in ending what was happening in Gaza. Recognition of the role we played in stabilizing Syria. Recognition, despite what they may have said in the press, that what we did in Venezuela was good for the world and good for our region in the Western Hemisphere. So, and appreciation for the mediating role we tried to play in this war between Russia and Ukraine. So I don't know. I mean, you guys ask me these questions like, if I go into these meetings and people are angry, nobody that screams or raises their voice or says anything negative. And if they did, I would remind them, but I don't need to, but I would remind them of the role America's played over the last year. It's been a very productive role, very helpful to them. And I would just say this, and I said this yesterday, I'll say it again now. Iran is governed, not the Iranian people. The Iranian people are phenomenal people. They deserve way better than what they have, which is a radical Shia clerical regime that has basically taken that country's wealth and used it not to build roads and bridges, not to build healthcare systems or universities, not to build a better, more prosperous country. They've used the wealth of that country to sponsor terrorism, build rockets, build drones, build missiles, build sea mines. That's what they've done with it. They try to kill people all over the world. And this has to be dealt with. That country was a threat for 47 years. Okay? That regime has been trying to kill and has been killing Americans all over the world for 47 years. We have a president that was not going to allow that to continue unfettered. So when we are done, Iran was already weak. When we are done with them here in the next couple of weeks, they will be weaker than they've been in recent history, and they will not be able to hide behind those weapons to break out and get a nuclear weapon, which would be crazy. For these people to ever get nuclear weapons would be crazy. Look what they're willing to do with the weapons they have now. They hit embassies, they target hotels, they try to kill civilians, they splash out at all their neighbors. Imagine these radical lunatics had a nuclear weapon to threaten the world.
What role could they serve other than preparing the way for potential ground invasion? And while you speak about several weeks, are you concerned that this could embroil the U.S. in the kind of prolonged conflict that President Trump came to office promising to avoid?
This is not going to be a prolonged conflict. The objectives I've outlined, again, I repeat them, because I see these reports, it's like the news is not clear on what objectives are. We've been as clear as you can possibly be from the very first night of what the objectives of this mission are. We're going to destroy their factories that make missiles and rockets and drones. We're going to destroy their Navy. We're going to destroy their Air Force. And we are going to significantly destroy their missile launchers so they can never hide behind these things to get a nuclear weapon. We are achieving all those objectives. We are ahead of schedule on most of them. And we can achieve them without any ground troops, without any. Now, in terms of why there's deployments, number one, the president has to be prepared for multiple contingencies, which we're not going to discuss here. But we can achieve all of our objectives without ground troops, but we are always going to be prepared to give the president maximum optionality and maximum opportunity to adjust to contingencies should they emerge.